Yo, what's good? Just a quick update before I thought I was saying something last video, but I wasn't. Basically, what I was telling y'all last video is you see, it wound up being a beautiful day. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here.
K74. Go phone K74.
Lord, that's how you made me in my heavens. I know I did some dirt and I ain't innocent. In isolation as I reminisce. The real reason you niggas switch. It was all about the Benjamin. It's up. K74, you already know, man. You already see we outside today. What I want to touch on today, basically, I ran across a couple clips online. So what I want to do before we get into anything else, I'm gonna jump into the clips that I want to get into. You know what I mean? Basically, some stuff that I've been seeing about people denouncing sororities and sororities, which I didn't even know, like, the half of it from what I'm hearing. So we gonna jump into this.
Yeah, so when you go to the reception and you watching them do their little ritual, they're singing those songs and they're undoing the covenant you just made at the altar with your husband. Oh nah, your husband, that ain't your first love. Jesus not. And you have to sing that song at baby showers, graduations, any celebratory situation. This is a disrespectful deity. It undoes the covenant that you just sat there. And while we singing that, your first, like you may wear a cap of diamond, and your husband just sitting there watching like, what? What are you talking about? And you're sitting here saying your love may a sigma be after we just took vows. Oh no, it comes back and it undoes your vows. That's what the initiation rituals do. They make sure you undo your vows. You have your kneel at the altar. You have your hand on the Bible there, and then you write your name in the book of Delta. And I don't know how much it was for Kappa, but it was like I can't remember. It was between 1,500 to 1,800 for Delta.
Yeah, I think it was around that same range for us as well.
It was insane. And when y'all crossed over, was y'all chapter broke?
Yeah, we end up finding, like they had money from a couple parties, but most of that money was fundraising for just really the life of the chapter. Although we paid $1,500 to $1,800, I can't even count how much money we truly paid on chicken and beer and drugs and you name it. You know what I mean? But we made a decision to go all the way through to November. So we were being pledged from January all the way to May. I made sure that I was going home for the summer of that year. I came back in August. We got back online and then pledged again from August all the way to November. We were just basically a free ticket for these guys to get whatever they wanted from, it's people just taking advantage of a bad situation. I saw somebody put mind control in the chat, but that's how far you will go really from a pride perspective and from a perspective of, this is what I have to do to get my letters. I'll do anything. It's really just being thirsty for the letters, really. And they're not aligned with the true nature of God, the true nature of, seeing God's will be done in the earth. So, yeah.
It's a lot going on. That brings me to what I want to talk to you guys about today, the topic I want to touch on. What I want to say is, man, I never really knew how serious it was to get initiated into that, those type of organizations, you know what I mean? And I know they secret societies, but as you can see, they secrets is actually coming out to the light. A little of it, if it's true, I could say allegedly because, you know what I'm saying? We don't, I never seen it with my own eyes. So if I never seen anything with my own eyes, I'm gonna always say allegedly. But I want to say, man, to the youth out there, I did some things young, wanting to fit in, wanting to be down with things. But I can say, like, to the extreme of what I'm hearing, I would have never thought that people would actually be doing these type of things in order to be accepted. Yeah, I heard of people getting jumped in, some people going to the extent of harming other people in the gang gang violence, because those really the initiations that I know about. You get what I mean? But I never heard the extent of people doing some of these things that I'm hearing that you have to do when you start getting hazed. What I want to say to the young people: accept yourself before you try to pretty much try to be down with anybody else, or you know what I mean, or join anybody else's motion. Learn yourself, you get what I mean, and learn what it is to, have self-worth and self-dignity. You know what I mean? You might not have the world, you might not have the best positions or anything like that, but, you know what I mean, as long as you got family and stuff like that really love you, that would never put you through stuff to humiliate you or make you feel degraded, you know what I mean? That's a plus, because some people don't even have that, you know what I mean? And that's who I would think would be more so to put themselves in the position of doing certain things that I'm here you have to do to get initiated to certain organizations. Know yourself, you know what I mean? Love yourself, and really understand what you participating in. You get what I mean? Because a lot of these stories that I'm hearing, they saying like, yo, they was young, they didn't know what was really going on until they got older. Now is a time where there's a lot of information out there, so you could pretty much look into whatever you're trying to be a part of. You know what I mean? It's more information now where you can look into stuff like that. Understand what it is you want to do. Understand who it is that's you're connecting yourself with. All that is important, and you don't never, because people would do all this stuff, but then in the end, it's like you gotta think, like, was it all worth it? You know what I mean? Sometimes it might be worth it to people. You know what I mean? But really, you gotta really ask yourself: is it worth it? Is it interfering with your belief that you was raised up on, your morals, your principles? You know what I mean? You gotta ask yourself all that stuff. Also, you get what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'm pretty much downtown. You know what I mean? I said, let me hit the city up. You know what I mean? Try to get these juices flowing. It was hot one day. The weather was pretty nice. Then, it started snowing the next day. So it's on and off. I'm going to pretty much get some photos while I'm out here. If I can mingle with some people while I'm down here, you know what I'm saying? That'll be a good look too. You know what I mean? So we gonna see what happens. But I'm gonna definitely get y'all some footage in this video of where I'm at, what I'm doing, stuff like that. And then, we gonna pick it up, yo. But until next time, y'all already know, man, we here. You know who you rocking with, man. You rocking with K74. So until next time, y'all already know, do what it do.